Okay, so I have two videos for you, and they both deal with immigration. The second one deals with it specifically a raid in MacArthur Park, and the first one is just ridiculous. It's about the movie Superman. So this is kind of crossing over to my other channel, which is Susan on TV shows, because I do also do casting videos there, and so I do follow the new DCU. And James Gunn apparently said the bleeding obvious for anyone who knows the slightest bit about Superman, that he's an immigrant, because he is literally an alien. People like to refer to as foreigners as aliens. Well, this guy is a real alien. So, apparently MAGA lost their shit when James Gunn pointed that out, the obvious, that Superman is a story about immigrants. So they have to be trolling, because I cannot believe that they live so far under a rock that they don't know who Superman is. I just cannot believe it. I mean, it's just, who hasn't heard of Superman? Even if you don't know the the deep-seated origins, like the fact that their creators were the children of Jewish immigrants, or the era that Superman first was introduced. Nobody can deny that Superman is an immigrant. I mean, what did you think he was? He's literally from another planet. I'm not sure what these people think is happening. But anyway, let's get to the article. James Gunn, Nathan Fillion, and more on MAGA outrage over director saying Superman is an immigrant. And a quote from James Gunn: "I don't have anything to say to anybody spreading hate." So it's great that he's taking the high road, but at the same time, what the hell? Okay. Now, James Gunn is the director that they're referring to. So, now this is from Variety. So let us get to the article. The team behind Superman is responding to the backlash after director James Gunn said the DC tentpole is a story of an immigrant that came from other places, which is literally the truth. I mean, I'm not sure where people can find a problem with it, considering just like Batman, Superman's origin has been done to death about baby Superman, baby Kal-El, coming down from Krypton in his rocket ship and being found by the Kents. It's, it's so much a part of the fabric of society that you would actually have to try hard not to know who Superman is. You do not have to read comic books to know this. It is just so well known. And because let's face it, most of the people who watch comic book movies have probably never read a comic book. Do those who read comic books, do most of them actually watch comic book movies? Yes. But most of the people who watch comic book movies are not comic book nerds. So, So yes, there is absolutely no reason, because it's such a big part of the fabric of society, that how can you not know this? Seriously. I mean, you hear people talk about Superman and you just have no questions. You don't ask, oh, what makes him super? Or you're not interested at all. You just tune it all out for, what, 50 years? Actually, more like 60, because there was Superman before the Christopher Reeve Superman. So, what the heck? Anyway, when asked about the reaction to his comments, James Gunn explained that the movie is for everyone and that he doesn't have anything to say to anybody spreading negativity about Superman. And yes, the movie is for everyone. I'm not sure what the problem, because they don't go into what the MAGA comments are until the end of this article. So, I'm not here to judge people, he told Variety at Monday night's Superman premiere at Hollywood's TCL Chinese Theater. I think this is a movie about kindness, and I think that's something everyone can relate to. No, not everyone can relate to. MAGA obviously cannot relate to kindness, because if they could, they wouldn't be losing their absolute shit over the fact that Superman is literally an immigrant. I mean, I just don't know. But then again, so is Jesus, and I think people would lose their shit if they learned that too. So it's entirely possible that, like a lot of things, if you go to comic book fandoms, just like Star Trek fandom, and I'm sure a lot of other fandoms, that people have this idea. They ignore the noise and they just love the action. They love to see Superman beating the bad guys and completely ignore, things like plot and messaging. Because how can you watch a baby being sent from a rocket ship from another planet that's about to explode to Earth and not realize that that person is an immigrant? It makes me wonder what they think is happening. Anyway, Nathan Fillion, who plays Guy Gardner, aka Green Lantern, aka the douche nugget of the Green Lantern Corps, laughed off the negativity and kept his response brief. Somebody needs a hug, Fillion said. Just a movie, guys. I love that response. I really, really do. Sean Gunn, who plays Maxwell Lord in the film, stood up for his brother and emphasized that immigrants are integral to the fabric of America, which is 100% true. Unless you are Native American, i.e. indigenous, i.e. what people used to call Indian, you're an immigrant. All right. My reaction to the backlash is that it's exactly what the movie is about, he said. We support our people, We love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And if you don't like that, you're not American. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. It makes me wonder. We have Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty, with an inscription that welcomes immigrants, especially when they had to take a ship to Ellis Island. Welcoming immigrants. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. What the hell do these people think that symbolizes? I mean, obviously that means we welcome immigrants. I'm not sure why people find this to be eye-opening. Do people not learn about the Statue of Liberty anymore, or what the inscription says? I'm very confused. James Gunn made waves with his Sunday profile in the Times of London after he explained some of the themes and ideals embedded in Superman. He said that the film encompassed the story of America, and on a fundamental level is about a man looking for a new life away from his homeland. Which is, yes. I mean, granted, he came as a baby, so it's not that new of a life for him, because he was an infant when he came. So it's not exactly that, but still. I mean, Superman is the story of America, James Gunn said. An immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost. And MAGA is more than happy to prove him right by hating on a fictional character because they exist. Because they are immigrants, and this is a climate of anti-immigrant sentiment or something. I mean, I honestly do not know what their problem with James Gunn is. That he understands the comics? He's seen the scene of the origin of Superman so many times that he understands what words mean? I honestly have no idea what MAGA's problem with this is. The quote inflamed backlash from commenters online and drew the attention of conservative media outlets like Fox News, which deemed Superman super woke. Again, have you read Superman? Have you watched the millions of movies or TV shows based on Superman? I'm not sure where you're getting this super woke thing. Actually, I'm not sure why you are surprised that any superhero is woke. Because the whole point of being a superhero is to bring on justice and to make sure that everyone receives justice no matter who they are. I'm not sure what you think superheroes are for. Do you guys connect to the bad guys or something? I'm honestly not sure what's happening here. Network anchor Kellyanne Conway said of the film, and this is the woman who coined the phrase alternative facts. We don't go to the movie theater to be lectured to and to have somebody throw their ideology onto us. So you've never watched a sci-fi movie ever. Because, I'm sorry, actually movies in general usually have a message to them. It's a rarity that you will see movies that are just mindless nonsense. That you can just sit back and, just watch action and there's no underlying theme. I mean, there are still some, don't get me wrong, but unless you just watch, Fast and the Furious movies, I'm not sure where you're getting the idea that movies, especially sci-fi movies, don't have ideology attached to them. Jesse Waters added, you know what it says on his cape? MS-13. This is why I think that they must be trolling. I mean, Kellyanne Conway, I do believe, is that fucking dumb. But I do not believe for 1 minute that Jesse Waters is not familiar with Superman's origin story and knows damn well that he is an immigrant. So yeah, this has got to be performative. There is absolutely no freaking way. Even Greg Gutfeld mentioned that that he has a woke shield. Again, because let's face it, Kellyanne Conway's at that age where girls didn't read comic books as much as boys. So I am being sexist here. It's entirely possible Kellyanne Conway never picked up a comic book, never watched a Superman movie, and because she coined alternative facts, it's entirely possible she lives so far under a rock that she has hit the Earth's core and has absolutely no clue who Superman is. I have no problem believing that. I would be shocked if neither Jesse Waters nor Greg Gutfeld have ever read a comic book. Definitely have never heard of Superman. I would be shocked. This has got to be trolling from them. Because what the absolute hell? I mean, it's great that Jesse Waters is willing to admit that not just brown people can be part of a gang, but where are we getting immigrant, which, you know, Superman is, plus the fact that nobody said anything about undocumented people, nobody said anything about criminals. He's the one who brought up MS-13. So, I'm not sure. Does he assume that immigrants is just shorthand for illegals, for brown people, for gang members? I'm not sure what dots he's trying to connect here. But either way, there is just no freaking way that he actually believes this. I'm sure, well, he obviously said it with a smug face. He always does. But there's just no way that he's being serious. I swear most of the times when he's looking all smug, it's because he wants to prevent himself from cracking up. Because even he knows that this is bullshit. And it is just too crazy to be real that he has to laugh. Let's see. So that is the end of that article. All right. So let's move on to a more serious article, away from that absolute shit show that is MAGA. And a more serious consequence to MAGA. Immigration agents swarm MacArthur Park in Los Angeles in show of force, drawing ire of Mayor Karen Bass. A Border Patrol official said such tactics are going to be normal very soon. Well, of course, ICE just got so much money that they're the best funded law enforcement agency in the country. I mean, they're better than the FBI, the CIA, and can you imagine what ICE with more money is going to do if this is the crap that they're doing now? Okay, where is this from? This is from The Independent. Dozens of heavily armed federal agents in military-style gear conducted an apparent immigration enforcement operation on Monday morning in Los Angeles' MacArthur Park, provoking outrage from Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who quickly arrived on the scene of the raid. Minutes before, there were more than 20 kids playing. Then the military comes through, she wrote on X, sharing a video of about 20 officers, including some on horseback, marching through the park. The second I heard about this, I went to the park to speak to the person in charge to tell them it needed to end now. Absolutely outrageous. Okay, so we are talking about kids playing in a park. And talk about overkill. The military comes through, and they're armed, and they do a raid. It's like on kids playing. What the hell are we doing here? Border Patrol agents were photographed at the park, and local media reported the presence of military vehicles and a Department of Homeland Security helicopter. The Independent has contacted the Department of Homeland Security, the Border Patrol, and the military task force overseeing the deployment of Marines and California National Guard members in Los Angeles for comment. The operation reportedly started around 10:30 a.m. and lasted about an hour. It's unclear who it was targeting or if anyone was arrested. Activists with megaphones alerted bystanders in the park about the operation, and people reportedly seen running down the street yelling "La Migra," a Spanish term for immigration officials. Protesters reportedly gathered in the park and screamed for the officials to get the fuck out, and Bass was seen amid the scrum using a Border Patrol agent's phone to speak with a senior official, urging officers to leave. "I don't work for Karen Bass," Border Patrol El Centro Sector Chief Gregory Bovino told Fox News after the operation. "Better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon. We will go anywhere, anytime we want in Los Angeles." Local activists condemned the operation, which comes after the deployment of federal troops in Los Angeles amid fiery anti-immigration raid protests. "This was just one big perverse publicity stunt," Ron Gochez of the group Unión del Barrio told the Los Angeles Times. "It was just to show force. It was just to take pictures." The Trump administration spending package gives immigration and border officials an infusion of about $170 billion, an unprecedented increase in funding expected to increase the size and pace of immigration raids across the country. All right. I believe that is the end of that article. So, it's great that it's just a publicity stunt, that nothing came of it, that at least this article doesn't say that there was anyone arrested but still, can you imagine if you are one of those children who are playing in the park only to have all these armored and well-armed people swarm around you just so they can show that they're being tough on immigration? I mean, it's great that didn't look like anyone got detained, but that's gonna cause some trauma. What the hell? I mean, I get it that they want to scare the immigrant community into, I don't know. I guess they want them to self-deport. But the problem is probably a lot of those kids that you scared are probably American citizens. Where are they supposed to self-deport to? I mean, there's no guarantee that even their parents are even immigrants, let alone undocumented immigrants. I mean, I'm sure some are, maybe even most. What does it matter? You are attacking a bunch of children for no reason. It is so crazy. And the fact that there are people out there who don't see a problem. On next door, there's this military veteran. I mean, she will pound her chest and, about the military. And if nobody says anything about the military, she whines about, oh, why did nobody mention about this or that? Or why is there a gay pride month, but there isn't anything for the military, even though the military literally has 2 months dedicated to it, May and November. But when I posted an article about ICE agents raiding a child's birthday party after they were told it was, or that they claimed to have thought it was a Tren de Aragua meeting place. And her response was, and so, as if it's perfectly okay to traumatize a bunch of 6-year-olds. And this is the same woman who can't understand why there are children, adult children of people who, and they don't want anything to do with their parents. And she can't understand, oh, we're not perfect. We make mistakes and we explain that we made mistakes. No, the fact that you don't understand why they cut you off proves that you did not learn from your mistakes. You just know that your kids are pissed off at you for some mistake, but you don't fully understand why. So this woman is so narcissistic. She thinks only of herself and people who are like her. And unfortunately, this country has too many of them. I saw that there was a study where even non-white people think white people are more American than they are. And that is just sad, because if you're born in this country, I do not care what your culture is. If you are born in this country, you are just as American as anybody else. It is just so sad to see that we are a country of racists. Maybe at one point, the ideal of the founding fathers was that we would not be that. But we haven't reached that ideal yet. We're still very much a country of racists. It is just unbelievable how many people seem to think. And what happens when ICE does these horrible things? Well, and I am not condoning this. I am understanding it, but not condoning this. Then we have people who literally attack federal agents, that they will shoot up a federal agency branch. And like I said, don't condone it, but totally understand it, because they do shit like this. Not to mention, they're usually in plain clothes, they wear masks, so how do you differentiate ICE disappearing you from an actual kidnapping? So, yeah, it's just a very sad time. I actually saw that we're at a low of how many of the percentage of people who are actually proud to be Americans. And that's because of shit like this. I mean, how can you be proud of a country that is turning fascist? It's just very, very sad. It is very, very sad. And for those who say that that makes you anti-American to want to change the country, no. Wanting to make your country better is not anti-American. It's not anti-anything. That should be the goal. That you love something so much that you want to make it better. Not anti-American. So, I went on one hell of a rant at the end of this video. So, with that, I will see you guys in the next one.